Good evening, everyone. Hey, Lee, Ray, Gary. Good to see you, brother. Cap. All right, guys. Hopefully some ladies here soon. We are a little early. Let's wait and see who shows up. If anybody has any questions before we start, by all means, throw them in the chat box. I am all about answering questions. That's one of the biggest reasons why I'm here. Um, Anything to do with the market, stocks, options? Let's wait a little bit. I would hope we'll get a few more people in here. Let's see. Let me do a sound check. Everybody can hear me, and can you all see my screen? You should be able to see my screen. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Okay. Hey, Cap, good to see you. All right. We'll give it 5 minutes. Get some more people in here. All right. Questions, anybody? Thoughts, ideas? Stock market, a lot of movement, a lot of ups and downs in this market here recently, a lot of Fed news. Um, Market is incredibly close to its all-time high, which is no longer on my chart, which was 565.18. Let me put that back on my chart. 565.18. And see what it is now. Today's high was 559.40. So you're talking less than $5 away. And that's less than one day's move in the SPY. So that could easily happen. Let's see. Let me get that up here. 559.40. It's not what I want. All right. So you can see we are close, which is amazing because just 3, 4 weeks ago we were we had a low of 510. We were ready to go to zero. David, good to see you. Clint, um, Miguel, what's happening, everybody? Good to see everybody. Any thoughts, any ideas, any questions before we start? We're going to wait a few more minutes that hopefully we'll have a tidal wave of people come in here. Dan, good to see you, Dan. Oh, there you are. I missed you. Missed your name. Yeah, I would say so. Been great recovery. Hey, Miguel. Um, all right, let's get Scampy. Hey, Scampy. You're the new guy. Oh, yeah, you just joined a few days ago, I think. Good to see you. All right, let's uh let's get rocking. Again, please, guys, remember questions. Throw the questions in here. I like to see a bunch of questions. All questions are good. There's no such thing as silly questions or, God forbid, dumb questions. There are no such thing as dumb questions. All questions are good. They're all great. I want to see what's on your minds. I want to do a few surveys tonight, see what's happening. But let's start, as I always do. I like to start with what would be my daily routine. I do mine first thing in the morning. I like to get up at 5 a.m. I don't know why, but I do. When I worked in the casinos for 25 years, I used to go to sleep at 5 a.m., which was downright weird. But I did that for a long, long time. Thank the Lord, I don't do it anymore. I haven't for over 10 years. So first thing I do, I look at the market. I generally just look at the SPY. I mean, the Dow's a dinosaur, but the Qs, of course, IWM a little bit, but the SPY and the Qs, this is the market that I look at. And again, now you guys can see my screen. Amazing movement here over these last 3, 4 weeks. No doubt about it. Amazing movement. Let me get my pen. And again, big gap down. Non-farm payroll, big gap down. That was not this last non-farm payroll, but the one preceding it. Non-farm payroll comes out the first Friday of every month at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And this one came out light, and then it was even reduced afterwards down to like 89,000, which is a silly amount of very, very light amount of new people added to payrolls, except for farming payrolls. Very light. Recession-ish, which is what the market freaked out about. And then, as often, many times, not always, but many times in the market and or in stocks, the market overreacted. There's no doubt about it. Why can we tell? Because the next 14 days it went straight up. And then, of course, again, you get a consolidation, which would have been a bull flag, right at the high. The high of this day, I think it was less than $1 away from the all-time high. This high was 564.20. This high was 565.18. Less than $1 on the SPY. That's a sneeze for the SPY. It could not break out. And then, of course, if you take a look at the stochastic, for me, it's always price first and the indicator second. But all through that time frame, what did you have? You had a lower stochastic, showing weakness in the stock, weakness in the bars, weakness in the SPY, at a historic all-time high, which of course is a nice big resistance area, and it tried it for 7 days in a row, and then finally the buyers fell out, and the sellers took off, pushed it down again. Then the stochastic got oversold. Anytime the stochastic's oversold under the green line, it's oversold, and then just like magic, boom! Now these last 4 days we've been up like a rock. Like a rocket. So, where does it go from here? Michael, good to see you. Um, well, you had a ton of buyers coming in yesterday, right at this low. These two lows were pennies away from each other. And you can see here, this tail, this was buyers coming in. During the day, I believe this is the very beginning of the day, stock price ran all the way down, and then boom, buyers came in. The only way the price can come from here to here, that's what that tail indicates. Buyers had to push it up. It's not magic. Buyers had to push it up. In fact, if you look at this on a 5-minute chart, you can see the morning was screaming lower, and then it just reversed. I had one of my students say, well, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe So you don't have to believe it, brother. All you got to do is trade it. He said, I looked for reasons. I couldn't find any. I said, well, okay, maybe there weren't any. I didn't see a headline. And it wasn't a magic time. It was 11 o'clock. But boom, boom. That's all. And you can say it shouldn't have gone up, shouldn't have gone up, shouldn't have gone up, shouldn't have gone up. But you know what? It did go up. That's all there is to it. So this is a 5-minute chart, yesterday's price action. And this is what that candle looked like. You had a candle. This was the open. The close is, so this was the open here. The close is way up there. There's your close. And during this part of the day, you got your downtrend. and then buyers pushed it up, and then it closed like that. So that's what that daily bar looked like yesterday. Losing my mind here. Here we go. So there it is. There's in the morning, 9:30, boom. Then for the rest of the day, boom. And that's what the candle looks like. Click on the note. Click on the note. Is it possible to turn off the background music? Oh, yeah, I don't hear that, but yeah, there is a little musical note, Scampy at the bottom. Got it? Okay, good. Yeah, yeah, I heard that news. I mean, that music one time, and I was like, what in the world? Um, so, um, questions on this, guys? Thoughts, ideas? Where does it go? I'll tell you what. Now, before I take a survey here, because I want to take a survey, where does it go? Who says it breaks above this high sometime next week? And who says it doesn't? Now, before you answer, consider this. You know, the old adage in the stock market's been around for a long, long time. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So, is that what's going to happen? Very possible. Is this market going to run up until next Wednesday? Next Wednesday is the Fed announcement. Is it going to run up until next Wednesday and then maybe gets bad news and turn around? Or maybe it gets really good news and continues to go higher. Or maybe it just gets news it figures most likely is going to happen and then it just kind of just doesn't do a whole lot. So, survey time, guys. Who thinks by the end of next week, the Dow will have broken out to an all-time new high above this number right here? Let me see some yeses and some nos. All right, here we go. Let's see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, 5. Nah, Cap, I don't know if you can put any dependings in there. I'm gonna catch you as a yes. 5. Uh, yeah, true enough, Michael. 6. So we got 6 and 1 neutral. I'll put Michael down as a neutral. So we got 6 yes. Oof, that is a big yes number and 1 neutral. All right. Um, I believe it will. I believe, well, again, I don't ever look at trading as will or won't, or yes, it will, or no, it won't, or it has to. I heard people all the time say it has to go up or has to go down. Oh, I knew, and there's no knowing. But probability wise, I think so. It is so close. It is still way oversold. It's got plenty, not oversold, but got plenty room to be overbought. Puts in a higher low. You can call this a reverse head and shoulders. Good probability. Yep. PPI, CPI. Listen, guys, we can rap about all the information coming in every day to the Fed. But ultimately, it's their decision. Who knows really how they look at, we had non-farm payroll. It was weak again. CPI and PPI was slightly higher than what was forecasted. Certainly not good for inflation, but not the end of the world. Who knows? Again, I know as a trader, I don't trade the news. I trade the market's reaction to news. And right now, even though the CPI and the PPI came out a little bit stronger, we have big up days, 4 big up days in a row during that period. Because which I was getting mixed up, but what was today? CPI was today, I think, and PPI was yesterday, or it could be the other way around. But still, didn't seem to affect anything in a negative way, that's for sure. Yep. CPI today. Yeah, well, listen, I mean, there are other factors too, Michael. Um, the Fed has a lot of different possibilities. They could say 25 now, but will strongly consider cutting a few more times before the end of the year. Or they could say 25 now, and that's it for the rest of the year. Well, the market wouldn't like that at all. Or they could say 50 now and no more for the rest of the year. Or they could say 50 now and plenty more for the rest of the year. Um, so there are several different possibilities. And then, of course, each one would probably move the market in a little bit different way. I mean, the market's obviously pricing in a 25 basis point move, but I'm not sure about how many more the market's thinking that the Fed might talk about before the end of the year. They may even talk about next year, but then they did that last year and didn't follow through. So, you got to remember anything about the future months, even this year, October, November, December, you've got a lot of information coming in every week that the Fed looks at. So, really hard for them to forecast, even them to forecast exactly what they're going to do. Too good, you think, Clint? No, no. I think the market would embrace 50 basis points. You go with three more this year, 325s this year? All right. I think the market would like that. We'll see why not. Anybody else's thoughts on what the Fed might do? Because there's no doubt this market's hanging on every word. Are you saying it's like trading a stock before the earnings come out? I would, if that's, I believe that's what you're saying, and I would agree. Yeah, because I don't trade stocks before the earnings come out. I trade them after. Again, I want to see how the market reacts to the news that comes out. And of course, if you trade, and this is probably going to happen to options next week too, I'm sure, implied volatility is going to go up. And so options are going to be much more expensive. Same way just before earnings. Yeah, David, I got to agree with you, I think. I really do. I seriously doubt that Powell is going to come out and say, this is what we're going to do for the next 3 months before the end of the year. I mean, he's never been very specific. I don't think there ever is very specific. So, yeah, I think he's going to say whatever, 25 or 50, and then, yeah, we'll see. But then I'm not an expert on the Fed. That's just a guess. So the market is very, very interested. And again, that news is not very far from here. And this market is almost at all-time historic new highs, pennies away, way off that last bottom, way off that last bottom. And if there's that much uncertainty, you would think that would affect where this market is, at least kind of go flat, kind of go sideways. But this kind of movement is by no means sideways. So I find it kind of interesting to look at that too. So we'll see. A lot of times when big news comes out in any particular day, that morning the market is somewhat quiet till the numbers come out. I would have thought that the market would have done something like that too. I mean, this market's been waiting for an interest rate cut since the beginning of this year. Yep. Yeah, definitely bounced off resistance. And now we'll see because it's getting awfully close. But we'll see. Interesting times. Very, very interesting times. And a break above that 565.18 out to an all-time historic new high would be very interesting. I mean, a break above here would certainly be very bullish. Very bullish. especially for some of the beat up sectors like tech. So let's take a look at those right now. Let's go to FinViz. Again, part of my routine, always look at the sectors, and they're here somewhere. Here they are. Groups. I call them sectors, they call them groups, same thing. There are 11 sector groups, if you want to call them either one. There are 11 groups in the stock market, 11 different areas: industrials, energy, technology, consumer defensive, real estate, and the like. And then these, remember, guys, these sectors, these groups are broken down into different industries. There are some 250-ish industries within the market. So if you went to, say, energy, you go up here to sector right here, go to energy, and now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different industries. You have coal, uranium. I don't know why I don't have solar in here, which is weird. Uh, Refining, drilling, all different types of energy. You have gas. I don't know why I don't have it broken down to gas either. Interesting. But a lot of different. So again, if you went, let's say we went to um, technology. Well, I got a bunch of them here. I got like 10. Hardware, software, semiconductors, electronic components, all different types of industries within the technology sector. Hold on one second, guys. Let me move this to a new tab, or I mean a new window. Okay. All right. So remember, and then because you can look at the industries too. Let's say you really dig technology. Well, computer hardware way shadowed consumer electronics. Solar is, oh, in tech. Yeah, I did see solar in tech. I always wondered why it was in tech. Isn't solar energy? Kind of funky. Um, so yeah. So semiconductors, strongest for one day, semiconductors for 1 week. So again, it's just like sectors, industries within a sector, some are stronger and some are weaker. And that money will move through those different industries within each of those sectors. So you can scroll down, and you can also, when you go to screener right here, you can sort by industry, 11 industries, or you can sort by industries, sectors, I mean, 11 sectors, or by industries. Not all 250, but there's quite a few. A lot of different industries. So if you want to scan just for one particular, let's see, what do you got? We have hardware here? No. Software? Semiconductors. Let's go semiconductors. So you can just scan for those, right? Same scans. Go to, no, not earnings. Price over 15, whatever resonates with you. Optionable, yep. Now we're down to 2 pages, which could be working. Well, that could work, but I want more. I want to get one that's in a good uptrend, so I'm going to go price above the 20. Oh boy, this might be too much. Um, Price above the 50 and price above the 200. And then you can just scan over the symbol and see what's happening. Which, now this is a nice one. This has two things. This has a flag right here, right? Because it looks like a flag. Remember, draw a couple lines, stars and stripes. And then it runs up, it's in an uptrend, goes right up to a double top, which is correct, and then pulls back, and then it has what I call a pullback flag, which is kind of like an upside down flag, which is very interesting often because this is almost always going to be oversold. So let's just see. SMTC. Let's go take a look. SMTC. SMTC. Come on, Glenn. I'm not the best typist. Oh, that's an N. All right. And still, that's interesting. Did I read this wrong? SMTC. Sure looks like it. Thank you. All right. Okay. So yeah, so it is oversold, right? So here's your bull flag, a little overbought, but still runs higher. And now here is your pullback right there. Oversold. If and only if we get a breakout above the high, which would be that bar right there. The red one is the low. That red one today is the high. If we get a break above the high, no recommendation. In fact, I always forget to do that. I don't know why I have this mental block. Hold on one second, guys. Let me put, a little too late to put that, but let me put this. No, wrong one. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on. I mean, that's one, but that's not the right one. There it is. All right, but no, none of these are recommendations. This is educational purposes only. Okay, we know that. Okay. All right. So, um, if and only if we get a break above that red bar, today's high, and then boom. This, what we would expect, probability wise, no guarantee, is that this trend will continue. That's what we look for. All right. Questions on that? That pullback flag is a nice one in trend. I mean, if it's just going sideways, that's not a big deal. But when you get a trend going and then it pulls back, because what's the definition of an uptrend? Higher highs and higher lows. This is a pullback, even though it looks sideways. And this is a run up and this is a pullback. And if it breaks out, then this is a run and then be another pullback. And then there'll be another run if it continues in trend. All right. Beautiful. Questions, thoughts, ideas, guys. Anybody have a particular stock that they're interested in? Throw one out there. And while we're talking here, this is one of my points I want to talk about today. Moving averages. Moving averages are not mystical, but they are used by a lot of people. They create looks. They create eyeballs, if you will. A lot of people watch the 20, which is this one, and the 50 period moving average. So they can create buyers and sellers. So when this stock runs up and gets pretty far from the 50, and that's a relative term, I don't know of any studies that have been done where a specific number was researched, but that's pretty far from the 50. What does it do? It pulls back to the mean. The means are the averages, the 20 and 50 period moving averages, right? You can see it got too low here, then it ran back up. Got a little high, then it ran back down. This is a little choppy, this one. But if you take a look at, say, the S&P 500, and you go back here, hold on a second. All right. So you can see here, kind of runs up and then pulls back to the 20, pulls back to the 20, pulls back to the 20 again and again and again and again and again. And then it goes down a little bit too far and then it pulls back. So especially when you get a run like that, when it bounces off the 20 that many times, that's a place to keep an eye on it. Some stocks and some indexes relate to their moving averages more than others. So then it ran up and then it pulled back again. It broke through, but it had a tail where it closed here. Actually, it closed here. Ran up and pulled back again. Ran way up too far from the 50 in a sense, and then pulled back. Was way too far from its moving average again, and then rallied back up. Overbought, oversold. And you can see that on the indicator also. So always a good idea to take a look at, again, how far it is from the moving average, because stocks tend to revert to their mean. Their mean would be their moving averages. No mystical numbers. They're not magical at all. They're simply an average of the price over time. But they do create buyers and sellers. A lot of people watch them. Now, again, if this was a 37.5 period moving average, would anybody be watching it? Would probably be up in here somewhere. No, probably not. And so wouldn't really be able to create any type of buys and sells. These are exponential. It's not a big deal. You can use either one. Exponential just forward weights the average a little bit, where simple is the same all the way across the 20 days. Just speeds it up a little bit. All right. So you got the SPY, you got the Qs, you got sectors. You want to take a look at the sectors. You want to take a look at your positions. All right. So let's take a look at some positions. How about where are we at? Let's talk about gold today. Gold's been in a run. My theory, not that I really care, my theory is that it's because of the possibility of lower interest rates. Remember, gold does not pay interest. So in a rising or higher interest rate environment, gold usually gets beat up. So gold was down for a while, all through here. And then we had news that something was going to happen with interest rates and lower. And probably why. Why today? Yeah, who knows? Gold is usually an inflation hedge. It's usually a hedge against geopolitical problems across the world. But I mean, those have been pretty constant for quite some time. But this is another one of those. Certainly, first of all, a higher low, right? And a pullback, had a run up, new high, all-time high, not all-time high, but recent high. There's your pullback. There's your consolidation. There's your breakout with a little gap. There's your oversold moving higher. Still sitting inside its moving averages, basically. Got a little far from them. And we'll see. Will it break here? Well, we will see. If I could read this. General Motors had some news today. They're supposed to be hooking up with Kia or somebody. Now, this is another reversal. It really needs one more day, but I'll draw it that way. It is oversold, starting to move up, right? It is a higher low for sure. You got a tremendous amount of resistance right here, but if it popped here, I look for a little pop there tomorrow. If it does, then you can at least run to there. You can make a little money there. It's about $4. And then if it breaks through, well, then you can make more. But this was a big down day. This was a doji bar with a big reversal bar, and this was a big update today. This is kind of a very interesting little pattern. A lot of people have recommended this stock, but I think it was based on the news. So we'll see. So we have new faces in here. Scott's here. Glenn, is that me? That's interesting. Is there a Glenn here? Someone with my name? That's interesting. So anyway, let's get this mess out of here. Somewhere. Oh, here we go. All right. So what else? What else was big today? A&F, Abercrombie and Fitch. This stock was a beautiful runner for a long time, and I have absolutely no idea why this stock would go from basically 20 to 190. Just now, I guess it hit 200. Pennies away from 200. Yeah. Um, but now a much choppier stock. Big update today. Another consolidation right here. Is oversold moving up. This is a repeated pattern through a lot of stocks now, with a higher low pullback, oversold, trying to break out of a consolidation. Um, Google trying to break out. You could call this a consolidation, but again, how many times did Google bounce into its moving averages, bounce into its moving averages? Will it do it here? Well, that's a good question. Something to consider. Um, VRT, VST, breaking through this, really kind of interesting. Another strongly trending stock. I'm a trending stock trader. I love trending stocks. This thing was another trender too. General Electric was another trending stock, went from $20 to 2,000 billion, whatever the heck it went to. Another one, yeah, 180. Just amazing run. Um, just kept on going. Yeah, and I love trading trending stocks. I don't like choppy stocks. I don't like stuff like this. Can you make money? Yes. It's not my thing. It's not my style. Everybody's got to have a different trade plan, a different style, different entry rules. Um, but nice move today on GM. On the G, I don't really see. That's not my, nothing for me. Amazon still moving. Had a nice consolidation here. Choppy. That's kind of choppy. Was oversold. Has moved up nice. Um, Aflac, crazy duck. All right. Another nice trending stock, especially from here. There's your high. Trying to do a little pullback. Again, oversold. Again, sitting on its 20 period moving average. If we get another day in there for me, that would be interesting. Only on a breakout, not a recommendation. So I know I say that too many times. Um, well, another nice trending stock. Did well in these trades. It is definitely in a flag now. There's your 3 days. Again, a little stretchy here. Definitely a little stretchy here. So things to consider. Always consider the sector too. Where's our buddy Apple? What's Apple doing? Yeah, it's trying. Here's your consolidation. Sitting in its moving averages, oversold, starting to move higher. I would like to break out above here and or here. That's just me. So we get a little one of these things. You got resistance here, potentially in here. So questions, guys, thoughts, ideas, any stocks on your mind? Walmart. Who would have thought Walmart? But nice little flag breakout. Nice little flag here, breakout, flag here, breakout, flag here, breakout. Gap on earnings. Yeah. Just keeps on moving. And again, I'm not a shopper. So do I like Walmart? I could care less. But it's not about that. Some people say, well, I go to Walmart and I don't really like Walmart, so I'm not going to trade the stock. Okay, well, I am. because I don't care about the fundamentals. I care about the chart. If the chart's rocking, I'm good. I mean, back in the day, my very, very early days, I traded stocks. I didn't even know what they were. I just traded a chart. I didn't even know what the companies were, but things are different now over time. But still, for me, the chart is always number one. Here's our buddy NVIDIA. Again, another little oversold, higher low consolidation, and broke above both of these highs, just like that other one, whatever it was, and just is screaming higher, screaming higher. Good trades there. Um, this was a flag. This was a flag. This is an ugly flag. This is a little. Yeah, that was a flag. Nice flag. All right. So bull flags, pullback flags, my favorites. All right, guys. Questions, thoughts, ideas. All right. Again, I had something else here too. Hold on one second. I think I had another one. The Dow, just for the heck of it, what's the Dow doing? Trying to put an all-time new high. It's fairly close to. Got a resistance here. We got it right there's your all-time high. Not too far away. Plenty of room here. We'll see. Again, waiting on the Fed. Um, oh, Robinhood. Some of these are moving out. This one had another one. Again, very similar charts. Run up, pull back, oversold, moving higher. Two nice bars pulling out. Stocks or options. Remember, always keep an eye on the options. So if you take a look at something like the SPY, obviously the options are great. Here's your volume. And your open interest. Let me get a little closer. Should be even more. Not the same. But still, 10,000, 16,000 in open interest, zillions, pennies in the bid-ask spread. Actually pennies. You can't get tighter spreads than that. 139, 140, 194, 195. You can't get any closer than that. So always keep an eye on the open interest. Make sure you got plenty, at least 100 or 200 or more. Always keep an eye on the bid-ask spread. You always want a tight spread. There's never any reason to buy a wide spread. Remember, if you have time here, yeah, I got a few minutes. If you had a spread, say $5, 7.50, which would be downright silly. Now, let's say you have a stock that goes up $4 and you have a 50 delta. That option will go up $2. As it goes up, the delta will rise with it. But for right now, we'll just say $2. This goes to $9.50. This goes to $7. You bought it here, and you can sell it there. All this got eaten up by the spread. So never a wide spread. There's never a reason to do it. And sometimes a lot of times you're going to get a wide spread. And you're going to say, well, I really want to buy this stock. I really want to trade this stock. Well, you can either buy the stock itself because the spread on the stock's not going to be wide 99.5% of the time. It's not, the spread's going to be fine on the stock. So buy the stock or, unfortunately, move along. Find something different because that spread it'll piss you off. Excuse my language. Um, okay, so we got our survey. Everybody pretty much thinks that we're going to break this high before the end of next week. We're not far away. In fact, let me just see what are the futures. Of course, it's way too early for the futures right now, but let's just see what the futures are right now. Yeah, plus $54. Everything's green. Crude oil did nothing. It's just gone down. There's supposed to be some pop because of the tensions in the Middle East, which I hope we don't have any problems there, but obviously that didn't happen. All right. So keep an eye on the futures, keep an eye on the pre-market in the morning. I always take a look at that. Remember, the market opens at 4 a.m. Eastern and closes at 8 p.m. Eastern. So tomorrow morning, you're going to get some of this stuff. The purple and the red is the pre-market. So there's 4 a.m., right? So you can get an idea of what the market's doing before the market opens. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Always a pleasure. I hope everyone trades well and stays well. And I give it over to my friend Scott.
But if you want to shut your screen share down, I'll turn mine on. The usual deal, you guys. Give us just like 3 or 4 minute intermission.